What's up, you guys? Welcome to another Super Roast Turkey video. Last week I went to Gamescom in Cologne in Germany, where I played some really cool games for you guys. Now, I've been very busy writing articles because I went there as member of the press. I'm with a Dutch gaming site, and as a result, I got to play a lot of games behind the scenes that regular, I guess, players didn't get the chance to play. But a lot of them were the same. In fact, some of them were just presentations of like videos you could watch online. So a lot of them weren't that interesting. For example, the Fighter Squadron mode is one that I played from Star Wars Battlefront, but that was also playable on the show floor. So I'm not sure if it will be worth it to talk about those games. There are two games I played that were actually pretty interesting to talk about, both by Activision for some reason, and I played them back to back. It was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 and Transformers Devastation. Now, I might do a separate video for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, but first I'm going to talk about Transformers. Now, as you can tell, I'm not that old. I'm 20 years old right now, and I was born in 1995, which means that I didn't experience the G1 Transformers for myself. But that doesn't mean that I didn't grow up with Transformers, because there was this show, I forgot what it's called, I think it was called Transformers Energon or something, that I watched, but I can't really remember a lot of it. Probably because it kind of sucked, I don't know. And also, of course, the crapfest Michael Bay movies. But to be really honest, I don't really care about those Michael Bay movies. Like, I watched the first one. I actually like that one. It's a kind of a guilty pleasure, it's a stupid movie, but I like it. And then, I watched the second one, I think, or the third one, and that's the problem. I can't distinguish them from each other. They're all exactly the same movie. So, to me, it made no sense seeing them anymore. They were stupid, they were dumb, I had really stupid jokes in them, so whatever. Fuck those movies. But all the video games up until this point have all been, sort of based on that Michael Bay-ish style. There were a couple, like, I don't know, one was called, like, Fall of Cybertron or something like that, and that was, like, it was kind of the original Transformers, but also kind of that Michael Bay-ish style. Like, it was so gritty and dark, and like, put that together, but not really a game based on the classic, like, old school show that, even though I didn't grow up with it, I like it a lot. I think it has a certain appeal that the newer ones don't have. I like those angular designs, that's like Japanese style. And Japanese is a good bridge because there's a game coming, of course, Transformers Devastation. That's what I'm going to talk about now, which is going to be made by Platinum Games. Yes, Platinum Games. Great guys. I love their games, like Bayonetta, fucking, Metal Gear Rising, and a lot of other games they made. And Metal Gear Rising is a good one because the director of Metal Gear Rising is working on Transformers Devastation. And that's a good sign, in my opinion. I actually met the guy. It was pretty cool. And Transformers Devastation is going to be like kind of a beat-em-up, hack and slash, the way Platinum Games does their games, basically. But one of my fears was, that came kind of nowhere. It was leaked before E3, came out of nowhere, surprised the fuck out of everybody. It was like, whoa, this game exists? And it did, and it might have lost the elements of surprise, but I was still surprised, because I was like, this is a game that, it came out of nowhere. So I was wondering, like, did it just get like a year to work on it? It's gonna suck, isn't it? But it seems like they're doing the right thing. So let's start from the beginning. Of course, it's based on the classic 80s Transformers cartoon, and it looks the part. I'm going to edit right now. You can see images of the trailer, I guess, or something else, where you can see the graphics look exactly like the show. And that's because of the cel-shading technique that a lot of games, I noticed, like, could use cel-shading techniques, but they don't. And this one is the perfect opportunity. It looks like a show, but it's not like it's just like, it kind of looks cartoony. Those curved lines of, like, those shiny curved lines, those are on the Transformers too, and I really noticed that. The first thing I noticed was just, wow, it looks great. It also runs in 60 frames, which is a godsend for consoles and games like this. Action games need to be in 60 frames, in my opinion. Fuck 30 frames. Of course, it's going to come to PC too, and on the PC it always has 60 frames if your PC can handle that. But on consoles, I think it's a good, it's always nice to have that. And it's going to be a beat 'em up. So, yeah, what are you going to think about beat 'em up? Like Bayonetta, like Metal Gear Rising, like whatever, all those other games. that do that. Devil May Cry. And it's gonna be 5 Autobots. It's gonna be play as 5 of the characters. Fuck, I'm gonna think about which ones they are. I think off the top of my head, it's Optimus Prime. Of course, you gotta have Optimus Prime. Bumblebee, Wheeljack, Sideswipe, and Grimlock. Those are the 5 playable characters. When you think like, oh, that's not a lot of characters. Like there's this, where's like I don't know, Jazz or something like that, which is the only one I can name on the top of my head that I know from Transformers. But that's what I thought at first. But then I realized, that's not that bad because if you think about it, I'd rather have 5 characters done well. 5 well done characters rather than a whole bunch that are all mediocre. The best comparison I can make to this game is a game I recently played called J-Star's Victory Versus Plus, which is not really a bad game, but it didn't have the cell shading technique. It had tons of characters which were all lame, and they're all not, how you say, fleshed out properly. They're all just boring. And this game, it seems like they are. Like, Optimus Prime is kind of like the middle guy. He's like, equally, like, he's not like the Mario, He's like middle of the road. But then there's like, other characters are faster. Grimlock, which is slower, but he's more powerful. And I picked Grimlock. When I got to play the game, which thankfully I did. At first I was like, it's going to be like one of those fucking presentations. But no, I got to play the game. So I was going to play in the game, and I picked Grimlock. Everyone picked Optimus Prime for some reason. I'm like, fuck Optimus Prime. I want to play as Grimlock, He's awesome. He transforms into a dinosaur. The other one transforms into cars. Like, whatever, Autobots. I don't give a crap. But he is a fucking dinosaur, and that's cool. Anyway, I picked the highest difficulty setting because I was like, you know what? I'm going to impress these guys. I'm going to be like, I'm going to beat this demo on the highest difficulty. But it's pretty hard. It's one of those, like, you get hit like 2 or 3 times and you're dead. So you got to pay attention. But the gameplay felt smooth. Of course, 60 frames. It felt good. Square button was like light attacks. Triangle button was heavy attacks. But what's cool about it, in this game, they gave transforming a point. They gave transforming, it connected to the gameplay. Because you mash your buttons, you do your combos. But when, during a combo, it gets a blue flash. The character gets a blue, like, and at that point, you gotta press, I think it was the right bumper, I forget, but the right bumper, and then you transform while doing the combo, and then I was playing as Grimlock, so he would transform into his dinosaur form and be like, and then if you're lucky, you don't get hit, and you get stringed together, you get another blue flash, and then you press the button again, and then you transform back into, your regular form, your robot form, and that's what I thought was cool about it, is that it has a point. Like, it finally, like a lot of Transformer games, it's like, oh, you just transform into a car and you just drive around. That's it. Or it's like, you're either a car or you're either a robot. Comes to mind, the Famicom game, which is fucking terrible. But that one is like, transforming has no point. And that's always a challenge for the developers. But here, it felt like it had a purpose. It felt like it was legitimately a part of the game. And also, you can just do that. Transform and drive around. That's a possibility too, but you don't have to. So I love that. Second, there was a certain strategy. You could either punch, but you could also fire projectiles. You had guns, but those had limited ammo, which I don't know if it was like regenerating over time or you had to pick them up. You could use those to take out the flying Decepticons in battle. Now that's all good. That's all nice and good, but I was already a little worried because I couldn't find a move list anywhere. So I hope that it's not going to be too shallow where it's like only a few combos and that's it. I hope you can learn more along the levels, like, get more intricate ones. Stuff like that. I hope that happens because otherwise I don't know if I'm going to like it as much as I do now because it'll be too monotonous. But they have a way to fix that. And this is something that I appreciate a lot. The game's old school because of its art style, but it's also old school because they're adding all these like sort of mini games that are alluding to old school like arcade games. One that they showed to us that I didn't get a chance to play, but it looked fun, was one where you play as Bumblebee in his car form, and it's like side-scrolling, and you're like going after this one Decepticon, which the name escapes me at the moment, which transforms into both a tank and a helicopter, I think, or a plane, like chasing him across a bridge. That was awesome. Like, okay, more of that. If they add enough of those, sort of break up the action, that would be good because otherwise, it would be just mashing the buttons. And that's it. Now, another cool thing they're adding is an RNG loot system. You can pick up swords and guns, which are like common, uncommon, and rare. You can find them in chests. That's a cool addition. I'm not sure how that works yet because I didn't get the chance to equip my, equip any of them. I did find them in the demo, but I didn't equip any of them yet. So I don't know how that works. But I think it's a cool system that sort of helps give it a little more depth than it seems to have on the surface. So a final thing I want to talk about is just the kind of appeal this has. Because to me, it's appealing. I like 80s stuff. I love 80s stuff. I love 80s Transformers. But I'm not sure if other people will too. Especially kids. I think if you're an adult, you grew up with Transformers, like if you're in your 30s or 40s now, you're gonna freaking love this game because it has the graphics, the music, it has the original voice actors, it had tons of characters, Decepticons. Megatron's gonna be in the game. In the demo, I fought Devastator, which is freaking huge, and it was the appropriate colors, green with purple. Another one, which I forgot the name, but it was one that transformed into a gun, like a laser gun. It was purple. If you are a Transformers fan of the old school, this is a game for you. I think you're going to be able to get through this game, even if it is kind of mediocre. You'll still like it because of all the fan service. But for kids nowadays who grew up with either the Michael Bay version or some other version of Transformers, I don't know which. I'm not sure if they will enjoy the game as much as I did, or I will, because they'll be like, what the hell is this? Why does everything look so cartoony all of a sudden? Where's the porn stars leaning over cars? So I'm not sure if they will like it. Only time will tell. But as far as I can tell, it's going to be fun. Lots of characters, upgrading with the RNG loot system. Hope it doesn't become too monotonous and boring with the combos. I hope they add more combos and all that good shit. Overall, I was just impressed. And I know that's the point of a demo or a preview. I only played it for 20 minutes. That's a thing. I'm going to teach you something right now. If you read a preview from E3 or Gamescom or whatever, any event, you get to play the games for 15 minutes. Or half an hour. If you're lucky, half an hour. But there's always a presentation that's 10 minutes. They get to play the game. That's all E3 and Gamescom previews have that. So I'm going to warn you right now, I didn't play enough of the game. I didn't. But that's a given. I mean, I couldn't play the game for hours because I had lots of other games to play. But that's what I thought about it. I hope you guys get sort of an impression on what the game's like. If you want to see more of these Gamescom impressions, there's some other games I played. Maybe you can leave in the comments. I played... what did I play? I played Rainbow Six Siege, Star Wars Battlefront, Tony Hawk, which I'm probably going to record after this, so I'll probably make a video about that. Tony Hawk. I played a little bit of Guitar Hero Live. Just a tiny bit, so that probably won't be reliable if I talk about that. What else did I play? Lots of indie games. I'm going to do a separate indie games video, just talk about all the indie games I played. What did I play? I played Street Fighter 5. Holy shit, I played Street Fighter 5. I'm going to do a video on that, maybe, if you guys like that. Lots of other games that I already forget about. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe, like, whatever, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.